Welcome to the Alcohol-Free Marriage and More podcast, recorded live from the cornfields of Central Illinois. We're all about thriving marriages and living free from alcohol. Welcome to episode 104 for April 28th, 2025.
Well, hello there, children. Welcome back to Alcohol-Free Marriage and More podcast, episode 104. I'm Matt, along with your always lovely Coach Amy. How are you, my love?
Coach Matt?
Yes.
I'm doing great.
You're doing great.
I almost choked right there. It was almost...
Did I surprise you that I was going to talk to you?
No, I just was getting trying to get a quick sip in.
No, there's no time. No time for sips.
And now that we've gotten older, that swallowing apparently is a problem for us.
I don't understand why that is. If
I don't
anybody out there knows, email
it's
Amy.
It's a thing. I actually looked it up once, and it is a thing as you get older. I don't know why, but apparently we like to choke on our own spit.
If anybody knows what that is, Amy at joyontheotherside.com. Let us know. We'd appreciate
Or
that.
Google it.
Or Google it and tell us,
Yeah, there you go. Or maybe I could Google it.
There's a website called Let Me Google That For You.
There you go.
Yes. But while you're out there, don't forget to like and subscribe. Share this with a friend or a foe.
Yeah, it gets the word out. It
Yes.
helps the algorithms. It pushes us up to someone might be able to see this and go, wow.
In the sea of podcasts that are
The
out there.
sea of podcasts.
There
What
are.
is there? There's so many podcasts.
Yes.
We do this because we love each other, and this is a date.
This is a date that I have to coach her into, but not coach you into, but coach you around and come on. This is what we do. You need to read. Do you have your notes? Did you get the notes? Did you read the notes? Did you look at the notes? No. What? You sent it to me?
I have, but no, it's this whole process of lots going on, juggling.
But as you were saying, we had a really great conversation that could have been a great podcast in the car.
It was.
And,
it was a great convo.
and ahead of that, not even thinking it would be a great conversation, I was like, I could just clip the mics to us and we could record in the car. I could, clean up the audio later.
So now we need to
drive back to Peoria.
No. Follow through on that nudge. When you
Yes.
have that little nudge that's telling you,
hey,
I think this would be a good idea. Go with it.
Yeah. But anyway, we had a nice conversation that you guys didn't get to hear. But if you're starting that AF journey, don't forget that you can download that guide below. That's our
Beyond
guide.
Spirits, 7 tips for starting your AF journey.
Yeah. And if you're married or soon to be married, you can always try our weekly marriage guide. Even our son and his fiance do a version of it. They don't do it exactly, but they do a weekly meeting.
It's checking in with each other.
Yeah.
That was part of our drive today. We
Yep.
did part of our marriage meeting
Everything but the calendar.
and connected on I-74.
We did. We've had a lot of driving time this weekend because we did go up to
have.
DeKalb to our son's bodybuilding show, which is always, even if you don't know anything about bodybuilding, they're just entertaining to watch and be part of the environment, as it were. Always a story to take away.
We don't even need to share the
I
story.
wouldn't even know how to explain the best story of the whole thing other than a man about my age in his 50s, probably in a red Speedo, kind of doing his own Magic Mike kind of show, I guess you could call it.
Yes.
That's the best way to put it. I don't know.
Thankfully, it was brief.
It was brief. Yeah, they only had 30
and
seconds. So
everybody was incredibly made uncomfortable. Everybody's like, oh, no.
no, that's
No.
that was
Oh,
a
no.
choice. That was a choice.
So,
but
anyways.
but he did very well. And we're very proud of his hard work.
Our son in his, what do you call it? His division?
Class.
Yeah. It was a
section,
novice.
physique.
And physique.
Physique is a category. And
And
there's
he-
novice and open. He got first in novice and third in open.
Yes. So he is very excited.
Yes,
We
he-
are
He
thrilled
got third
for
and third
him.
last time, so he's moved
If
up.
you ever want to know the color of somebody who has to, when you're doing bodybuilding, you get a show tan, and just
And
basically
tan is a very
just think of it
light
this
way
way.
of saying
You
it.
know when you see a bronze statue,
yes.
that's the color.
His bronze statue matched his skin,
It was so weird.
which is hilarious because he's as pale as I am. I mean,
Yes.
yes.
So it's very odd, very weird, but he did amazing. We're super proud of him. He did a great job, and way to go, Luke.
Yep, and we see the they call them the masters, the over 40 crowd that gets up there, the 40 and 50s. It's like, oh, we could do that. I probably won't, but I could. I exercise, but
I'll
not
tell
that
you
much.
what,
That's a
the
lot.
The dedication is immense, and
It's a little more commitment, but I am committed to this new drink we found there, Coach Amy.
Oh, I know. Our drinks of the week.
Yes, our drink of the week. We happen to be at the local vitamin shoppy, if you have one in your neighborhood. I've recently gotten on, I don't know if I talked about my yerba mate that I've gotten into.
Yerba mate.
Yerba mate is a classic tea, I guess. I don't know and I don't even know where it comes from. I don't even know the background.
I think it's Argentina.
Yes. But you fill a gourd, they call gourd the cup, like 3/4 way full of this leaf. And then you basically put a spoon with a sieve on the end of the spoon. And then you fill that up and you drink it like right out of there. And you keep filling it and keep filling it. Look it up. It's really good.
And it does have caffeine. It gives you a very it's
more of an even caffeine versus coffee would be.
I kind of call it a bright feeling. You feel energized, but you're not jittery.
Yeah.
You just have this really ability to even just kind of focus and get things done. It's very good.
And supposedly it has like other
and I like
compounds
tea,
in it.
And if you like
tea.
It is a tea.
Yeah.
If you like tea, green tea, I think you would probably like this. It's strong when you first start because apparently you fill this gourd up and you're going to continue to add water to that, not
over multiple hours.
Yes. Yeah. So it's really strong at the beginning and then it lessens.
Yes. But the challenge
one of our
is,
friends in our small group, they're like, if you need to do this.
No, I walked by. I go, Greg, why do you have a cup full of grass on your counter? Because that's yerba mate. And then here we are. But the downside of traditional yerba mate is it's not terribly portable. Because you have to have your hot water with you in the cup.
Now we have Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yes, it's a better like kind of at your desk kind of drink. But we found this at the local, as I mentioned, the Vitamin Shoppy, or as my series says, the Vitamin Shop. It's Sir Inkwell's Adaptogen Yerba Mate. Mine is the blood orange. Yours is which one?
And mine is the wild berry and pomegranate.
And I think they have a lemon something version. There's 3 versions.
Ashwagandha.
Yes, there's it's adaptogen. So you have ashwagandha, ginseng, and reishi.
Yes.
And there's a little more sugar. A lot of the drinks we talk about don't have a lot of sugar.
These are 16 ounces. Probably more sugar than I would opt for.
14 grams in this and 15 in yours, I think.
But
for 16, still pretty low.
And this is a caffeinated drink, so I have to drink this before noon.
Yes, 150 milligrams of caffeine, so definitely.
So I have to drink this before noon. This would not be something that I'm going to say, hey, let's have this as my mocktail.
Yep. And if you really like it, you can buy it on Amazon by the 12-pack. I found it then at our Vitamin Shoppy. We'll sell a 12-pack, and they happen to be on clearance right now, kids. Half price for a 12-pack of them.
So if it's on clearance, does that mean I'm not going to be able to get it at Vitamin Shoppy?
I don't know. It may just be a sale. I don't know what that means. I don't know.
If it says clearance.
It means rush out and try it, and if you like it, buy the 12-pack at half price because that's a really good value.
Yeah. And then, as often happens with us, then it will be gone.
Probably. But if traditional yerba mate is very inexpensive. I mean, the startup cost was pretty low. The cup, I think, was almost more than the yerba. So.
Oh, yeah. And just a little FYI, it looks like the stuff you would put down as bedding for a hamster cage. That's exactly what it looks like.
Kind of smells like it, too.
And you're like, we're drinking hamster
it doesn't
grass.
It's not bad. It's just a unique
smell. If you could. You mix a little in there, what that would do with the little hamster and mice.
They get all jacked up on caffeine, probably.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, Coach Amy, I found a little booze news this week because one of your favorite topics to bring up uncomfortably on the podcast is sober sex.
Why does that make me uncomfortable?
I don't know. Maybe it makes somebody uncomfortable.
Don't be uncomfortable with it.
But I found a survey about sober sex.
Let's talk about this, Matt.
Well, let's talk about 1 in 3 Americans admitted they lean on substances to boost sexual confidence. In fact, 12% said they only have sex with their partner when they are drunk. Americans are twice as likely as Brits to need a drink just to find their partner attractive.
Wow, that is sad.
I'm like, I can understand to loosen you up, to kind of get in the mood, but to find them attractive in the first place, I'm like, ooh, you might need to reconsider.
That is sad.
Yeah. But sober intimacy, Amy, is picking up serious momentum.
Serious momentum,
43
people.
43% of Brits and 33% of Americans said sober sex deepened their emotional connection with a partner,
Duh.
and nearly half reported having more intense orgasms when sober, a phenomenon some are now calling a sobergasm. Do we have to name everything, people? Do we have to name everything? But there you go. But that's a thing.
I think that is really, let's just talk about that. That is so stupid.
Sobergasm?
That is so absolutely dumb.
Yes.
You and your partner were literally made.
What does that mean? It's like a drunkgasm if you're drunk?
Yeah. So are we going to, are we going to
highgasm.
So why does orgasm have to, is it a drunkgasm?
Exactly. That's my point.
I mean.
Yes. But Amy, it's not all effortless soul gazing. So staring at my soul. 16% admitted they felt more self-conscious sober, stressing about body image, performance, or just the awkwardness that alcohol usually eases, which I would agree with that. The whole, like, if you've been with your partner for a while and normally had a libation or two.
I was terrified.
And then
Matt, I literally remember like that, like, okay, now I'm not drinking. Okay, the first thoughts that come up in your head is like, okay, well, how am I going to do this? Like, just like, how am I not going to drink? And then the next thing is, how am I going to have sex without having a glass of wine? To loosen
the mood.
Loosen me up, put me in the mood. What are we going to do here? And I just want to let you know that it all works.
Me or the listener, I've been there, so I'm aware of how it went.
And it is sad because we are created to do this, to be intimate with each other, to be in that close relationship with somebody. And then, I mean, reading that article to that they even find their partner attractive, I'm like, oh my gosh.
But we almost went through it twice in some ways because you quit, so then you kind of had to get over that while I was still drinking. So that's not something I had to get over myself.
I don't know if you really picked up on all of it.
Would I really?
Probably not.
No, but if I was the one drinking, I probably would less.
Well, I just would. How do I want to initiate at different times of the day?
Oh, when there was not alcohol already.
Yes. So then you were having.
Oh, there you go.
Sober sex, but in that, like, oh, we're gonna have a date. We're gonna go out. This is, is our routine.
Yes.
That part, I think, it can be difficult, but it can be difficult in the same way as how am I going to meet my friends out? How am I going to go out with my friends and just go out for drinks?
Right.
It's the same thing. It's always going to be awkward until it's not.
I will also say, just like our great conversation this morning, it comes down to communication. You have to talk about things. Mm-hmm. And I think the alcohol allows you to sort of like, oh, I'll talk about that later, or forget it, or mute some annoyance that you don't like or whatever. Something.
And not talk about it or
put up with it or whatever.
Yeah. Like, okay, well, this is how this is going to go.
Give me another drink. It'll be okay.
Yeah.
But Amy, we, Gen Xers, and the boomers are leading the way in sober sex, while millennials are a little slower to catch on. But Americans overall.
I think that is just their age, because the older you get, honestly, a lot of people, I think a lot of people then start going, I also think women, we come into our own as we get older, obviously. And then we get to a point where we're like, you know what? By God, I am going to ask for what I want.
You've always asked for what you want. So.
No, I haven't.
In all ways, shapes, and forms. But Amy, okay. Americans were 44% more likely than those Brits to consider themselves part of the sober sex movement.
Man, I am so excited. We are on point, Matt.
Let's see. We are trending, Amy.
We are trending. You and I, we're ahead of the game, or I think we were kind of midway on the game, jumping on the sober train. And now, we're leading the way in this sober orgasmic.
No, sobergasmic.
Sobergasmic.
let's
I
move
guess
on.
we maybe do we need to put a little.
No, there's nothing.
Well, I know, but like if
Explicit.
hey at the beginning, like if your kids are gonna be maybe not be listening to this, if you don't want to have to explain with a sobergasm.
I think they'll get the point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's say yeah.
Okay, Amy,
Okay.
this is your part of the notes that I let you just do things with. So
Right,
I don't even
Matt.
know where you're in the driver's seat now. Let's see what happens, kids, when Coach Amy is driving.
Well, I wanted to talk about first up. I lead a group program called Choose Freedom. That one of our past interviewees,
Yes.
Roseanne Forte, she's actually written the book called The Plans He Has for Me.
Yes.
And it is a 12-week devotional to quit drinking. But the Choose Freedom program works in conjunction with that. And it takes 12, let me, I'm going to read this correctly. 12 biblical core concepts designed to be impactful it's the program that we're going to incorporate it all together. And so I'm starting this new program. I just started it this last week. And the way it works is anybody can join at any point of the 12 weeks because the core concepts.
So it's a rolling 12 weeks.
It's a rolling 12 weeks. You don't have to take the course in a sequence.
But you have to take it in its entirety.
You do. So
You take 12
some
weeks,
people
but-
will be starting, like this
Right.
group is starting on core concept 8.
Right.
And then we will go up to 12, and then
And
we
start
start over
back
at
at
1. And then next week, people will be starting at 9. And
Right.
as we're going through this, people are going to be able to join, create community, and it brings in faith, neuroscience, and kind of smashes it together.
Right.
And I don't know. I'm really excited about it. I think I've been coaching in around this program for a year. And it is more of has more of a small group feel to it. But, I work with my clients on these core concepts, walking them through, doing the daily devotion, focusing our mind on gratitude and moving forward. And with that, though, my favorite core concept in this is around mindset, and it's I get to. The I get to mindset. And we've probably talked about this before. It's taking that I have to, I have to do this, the deprivation mindset, and switching it to I get to. Instead of saying I have to, you flip it and you get to say I get to. And it also, when we look at I get to, it kind of puts us in a better mindset.
Yeah, you're not negative about it.
Exactly. So every time we're looking at a task or a responsibility or something like that, we have to turn it around instead of saying, I have to do this with my kids or I have to take the dog on a walk. No,
Right.
I get to take the dog on the walk. I get to move forward in whatever I'm working on.
Right.
So that is one of the
I
things.
get to wake up hangover free.
I get to.
Right.
Now I love to take that. I never ever have to have a hangover again.
Right.
And I love that,
Yes.
but that whole I get to. I get to face challenges. I think that's another thing that I really has been a very eye-opening. When you drink alcohol, it does make you tend to look at things, at least for me and you and many other people that I've worked with, to be more negative.
Right.
To create negative stories around scenarios. We tend to create stories about people. At least that was our experience. And so now flipping that mindset and saying, I get to do this. I get to wake up every day and experience life exactly the way I'm meant to be able to feel it, to be able to go through my emotions and know that I get to go through this emotion and be fully present in it. It might be horrible, but
Well, I think the I have to, it takes in on what's the word I'm looking for? You're
deprivation.
no, if I say, I have to, you're taking your life for granted. So
Yeah.
we have a friend in the hospital right now, and if who can't do things, And if they were able to do things, so it's like, oh, well, now I can't. And, when you're sick, you're in the hospital and you can't do something, then you start realizing how much you take things for granted. It's like, geez, just being able to get to make a meal or get out of bed or whatever it is, like you get to do those things. So, you start taking things for granted because you have the health and the mobility or whatever. So, think that through. But I like the 12-week program. The rolling 12-week is cool because, I know you've had people come in, halfway through a program. Oh, I'd love to be part of this. Like, well, you got to wait till this one's done.
Yes.
I start the next one versus.
And then by that time, people are like, no, I don't think I'm going to join. Oh,
Yeah.
but so this is a great opportunity.
Or they decide to quit quitting.
Yeah. And it's a 90-day challenge. I like to kind of put it in the 75 hard.
Yeah.
Let's look at that. I mean, a lot of people are doing 75 hard. But I also, with people with 90, they're like, or 84 days, I guess is what it is.
Yeah, 3 months.
Being able to go, okay, you know what? We don't look at the whole program. At least I don't. It's like, all right, let's just focus on at the beginning. Let's just focus on today.
Yep.
And let's focus on next week. We're going to get you to next week, and then let's add another week and just keep using that lengthening. And as each week, celebrating every day. I know at the beginning, I celebrated every day because I was in shock, especially when I got up to the double digits. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's been a really long time since I've had 10 days.
Right.
And
you
then
celebrate 10 days, right?
11 days or 12 days or whatever. And you keep moving through it. But I would like to say, like on this, this I get to. This is another thing that I was listening to I was listening to a podcast on gratitude, and you take your gratitude list, and that's one of the principles that every day when you do the Lord's Prayer, you do a prayer and meditation. I incorporate in my breath work into it, but doing that gratitude piece. Sometimes when we're writing our gratitude down, we don't know what to write. A lot of people get kind of hung up on that.
We just talked about the blank page syndrome.
And
I stare at a blank piece of paper. I don't know what to write.
So what I have done is you can write down, and I do this all different ways, but writing down like the things that I'm grateful for. But if you're having difficulty with that, you can write down, I get to do whatever.
Right.
I get to get up and go to work.
Are you talking about the 3 things that we talked about?
I haven't yet. I haven't yet. But this is something we can incorporate. But I get to I get to wash my clothes in the laundry room. Yes. I have a laundry room. I get to take my dog on a walk. I get to drive a car. There are people in this world, who don't have cars.
You get to drive a clean car because you got to marry an awesome man who cleans your cars.
But I get to, get in the car and go see my friend in Peoria.
Right.
I mean, those are the things that, I get to.
Go support your children at their events.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's changing and putting this all in perspective. So I guess along with this.
Which, side note, last time we went to that exercise event, they did not have NA beer, and this time they did.
Oh, yes. Isn't that funny? It's a year and a half later.
Yep. And they have an NA beer.
And they have an NA beer because people, by gosh, have gone up and asked. And they said, can we have an NA option?
Yep.
Today, when we were at the Bass Pro Shop,
yep, they had an NA option.
They had an NA option as well. So that is, we are seeing this in, just real time.
Yep. Sorry,
things are happening.
I detracted.
Well, do you want me to do those 3
questions? Yes, I like them.
Okay.
Because like I said, I don't journal that much. I probably should, but I also am like, let's open a blank piece of paper and just start writing. I'm like, I don't know. So if nothing else, these are 3 good kickstart ideas.
Well, and journaling is proven, to help you develop a better mindset, plus just have like purpose in your life. And then also that you can sit there and look at like, oh, this is what I wrote, a week, a month, a year ago.
Right.
I never go back on my journals, but I know a lot of people who do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's very common.
I wish at the beginning of my journey, I would have journaled more regularly.
Oh, to kind of remind yourself.
Exactly, to go back and look at that. But But I have journaled. I've done like prayer journals for a long time. I've done different things like that. But this particular, these 3 questions, these are from Dr. Rangan Chatterjee, and he has a podcast called Feel More, Live More, or Live More, Feel More. I can't remember, but I can put
Google
a link
that.
to that. But he is out of Great Britain, and he has these 3 questions that you want to ask every day. You and I did this in the car.
Yes.
So we can kind of recreate this. So the first question, and I want to preface, he recommends that you do these for like 21 days. And you will see an improvement in your life and your attitude and how you feel about things and living with more purpose in your life as well.
The magic of 21 days.
Yes,
Or a month or whatever.
So first question, what is the most important thing that I have to do today? And that question is not necessarily about, it can be about, like you made a comment like, I have a project that needs to be done.
Right.
And that absolutely can be the most important thing that you need to get done. However, a lot of times what this could be is the most important thing I have to do today and yesterday when I did this was to be fully present with the people I'm with and to take interest in them.
Yeah. So it can be more of an emotional, spiritual thing, or it can be an actual physical thing you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then the second question is one thing you deeply appreciate in your life.
I don't remember what I said.
Of course you said me.
Did I? I don't.
No, you did not.
Not that I don't appreciate you. I just
No.
don't think that was my answer.
You actually said health.
Oh, yeah.
Health.
I think it's because we were going over to see a friend in the hospital. I was like,
Yeah.
well, yeah. It's like, well,
Appreciating our health, appreciating the fact that we are doing things to get ourselves healthy,
or
to
try
stay
and
healthy.
stay healthy, yes. Yeah.
So I think that is like I think I said faith right now.
Yeah.
This
But, I
has
mean, it
been
could
a-
be the weather. It could
be, yes,
your
it
house.
can-
It could be your job. It could be whatever. Yeah.
Yep. And then the third question is, what quality do I want to show the world today? And that can be a part of your values. It could be, like for me, it's like I wanted to be, today I wanted to be absolutely fully present for the people I meet. I was going to see. So I wanted to be present for our friend. I wanted to be present with you since we were spending the day together. So that is one of the things. I think that Dr. Rangan said he wanted to be present for his children when he would come home from work, like to be fully focused on them and those interactions. I think
those are 3 good questions to start to use those as your framework to start your daily journaling. And then if you want to keep going, once you've kind of got your brain working, you may then organically come up with, and I had this, and this.
Absolutely. I think
Or if that's all you do, those 3 things.
I think those 3 questions is enough. I mean, you don't have to spend a long time. I mean, like, I sent out like, do tens. And when I say tens, it's do 10 minutes of reading, 10 minutes of movement, exercise, 10 minutes of breathing or meditation, something like that. 10 things that you're grateful for. I mean, if you can do, 20 minutes of something, or if that's too much, I tell people, cut it down to 5.
Right.
5 minutes. 5 things you're grateful for.
Because a lot of these type of things, whether it's exercise or or mental health things or whatever, a few minutes is, it's better than nothing.
Well, it redirects your reticular activating system, because our reticular activating system, the way it works is it helps us feed out all of the information that's coming into your brain. So that's why you can get in the car and drive somewhere and get there and go,
how did I get here?
Because it is, your brain has said,
it's your autopilot.
It's your autopilot. So if your autopilot is focusing on negative things, the great thing about neuroplasticity Plasticity.
Plasticity, yes.
All right. I
Yeah,
think I
good
said
job.
it right. Is that we can program it,
Or reprogram
it to focus on the positive.
Yep.
So you can, with these exercises of these journal questions, I get to mindset, writing down those 10 things that you're grateful for, or 5 things that you're grateful
And you know
for.
what just dawned on me? Because I made that comment about you this morning on the appreciation thing. And maybe that's what I've seen over the years. Because I said I appreciate how you've helped me grow, but not try and change me, if that makes sense, right? Like grow and improve as a person and not change like little things. And like some of, like, there's certain innate things about people that just like, that's kind of how they're going to be. And it's not going to, whether they do that thing or don't do that thing, it's not going to change who they are either way. But I think some of those positive reinforcement things that you've probably worked on over the years, you're like, okay, well, that's not going to matter. But if he eats better or exercises or quits drinking or whatever, that will improve our quality of life together, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that positive change and positive like reprogramming starts to kind of make that shift of like, okay, what are the things that really,
What's important?
what really impacts life?
Mm-hmm. And looking at,
Like, do I load the dishwasher correctly? You're going to say no. I think I do it perfectly fine. But at the end of the day, teaching me to do it your way or not, or me doing it your way or not, is not going to change.
is it an annoyance?
Yes.
Or is it, is it something that you were trying, am I annoyed, or are you trying to be offensive to me?
Yeah, is
with
it an
how you're
offense or
doing
an
it?
annoyance?
Yes. And you're not being offensive by the way. Am I taking offense on how you load the dishwasher? No.
I would hope not.
Am I annoyed by it
wait,
in
and-
certain ways? Yes.
right.
Do I sit there and say, this is how you do it, right? Cheeky.
Right.
That's, it's like, no, this, of course you're not doing this right. But to get hung up on that,
Right.
that is something that I think,
But I think,
you have to really like peel back that layer and go,
right.
wait a minute. Does this really matter? Who cares as long as it gets done?
But I think I saw more of that personality prior to you quitting, or
Oh, yeah.
maybe right after you quit too, but before you started all of this kind of other, PQ rep types work that we've done.
Oh,
in
yeah, the mental
past, yeah,
fitness.
and everything else. Like, just like anything, over time you start. It doesn't change anything in a day or a week, but over time, things start to change.
And again, as you and I have both found, when we let go of the alcohol, and there's this, for most people who do this work, you end up getting into this area of your life where you start to really look at self-improvement.
Yes.
Where I think a lot, some people are just always about self-improvement. I mean, they're like,
Right.
yes, this is how I want to be. I want to be efficient, all this. But then there's other people, and I would say that I think I was kind of both a little bit, but I think
I was not.
I think I did a lot of, I want to do this. I want to. Let me read this book or buy the book. That's the
There you go.
best. Let's buy the book and put
Osmosis.
it on the shelf.
There you
And
go.
yes, I will
Right.
glean that
I
information.
will look like I'm smart.
But when I let go of the alcohol, all of a sudden it was like I had that free time. It's like, I'm going to listen up. I'm
Right.
going to really dig into the health and wellness.
Right.
I mean, I had, but not to the extent that I am now.
And I think, as we talked before, that once you feel better from not drinking, then you start looking for other ways to feel better in your life. It's like, how can I improve my relationships? How can I improve other parts of my health? Like, if that makes me feel better, what if I start drinking more water or whatever?
Well, because you have to peel back those layers.
Right.
And when you peel back the layer of why you're drinking,
And take up the
Because-
hazy drinking glasses.
yes, and then you're like, here I am, basically naked. And you're like, okay, now what? What do I have to work on? Like, okay, you know what? I have
You can't have a drink and just pretend it
I
doesn't
have
exist.
self-esteem issues, or I had.
Right.
I had issues in confidence around myself and what I want. I was a people pleaser. And the last 5 years, we have evolved into recognizing, this is why I was doing that.
Right.
And I start working and getting clearer on those things. It's just been, I don't know. It's it gives you so much clarity around all of it.
It does.
I think he is cutting me off, people.
You know, every podcast has a limit, Amy. If you talk about everything now, what would we talk about next time?
I know, next week. I can't wait to talk about next week.
Oh, I know. We have a great interview next
We do
week.
have a great interview.
Yes, we held it away from you on purpose.
Yes, and she's going to be with us, and it's Kristen. And Kristen, I have to look, Horstman, yes. And she is a coach as well, and I cannot
She's
wait.
part of the Sober in the City group and part of the event going on in Phoenix, or Scottsdale, excuse me.
Yes, and we are going to her. She is the founder of Brighten Your Life Coaching. She is a gray area drinking coach and a health coach. So
Yes, it's a great
I cannot wait for you to hear it.
Yes, and she even helps enforce and talk about gray area drinking and everything. So,
we will be digging a little deeper next week.
We
on
will.
that.
Until next week, kids, I'm Matt, along with Coach Amy, wishing you peace and love from the cornfields. And we are
Out.